Okay, so right now I'm looking at unemployment essay question 3. In the same video, I will be also looking at unemployment tutorial essay question 4. Alright, so same video, essay question 3, essay question 4. Alright, so if you need help for both, you can look at both. If you need help for just one of them, you'll just have to scroll accordingly. Okay, so let me begin with essay question 3 first. Alright, so we have this question here using concept of scarcity as well as opportunity cost. Alright, explain why governments are often concerned with high levels of unemployment. So I think many of us we might think, oh, unemployment is going to be just a macro kind of question. But you can see down here, you're asked to use microeconomics concepts such as scarcity and of course to try to explain why governments are often concerned with high levels of unemployment. So there can be the interaction between macro concepts. So I think it's very key and important for you to understand this as well. All right, so let's look at how we go about addressing this question. All right, so I think if you do your 3Cs, you can see how command word here you use is explain. Content word, all right, scarcity, opportunity, opportunity cost. All right, and then concern with high levels of unemployment. Context here, perspective you want to take is government. All right, so in order to address this question, okay, let's look at the schematic plan. So how do we use the concept of scarcity and of cost? All right, if you remember scarcity, what's the whole idea of scarcity? Scarcity, the idea here is that there's limited resources, unlimited ones. Limited resources, unlimited ones. So with these limited resources, you want to be able to utilize your scarce resources as efficiently as possible. All right, so as efficiently as possible. So we don't want to see wastage of resources. All right, however, when we talk about this issue of high levels of unemployment, what this means is, all right, if you were to analyze this using a PPC, if you draw a PPC, you can see your PPC curve, okay, actually shows you the maximum amount, the combinations of the maximum amount of output of two different goods and services that an economy can produce, all right, with the given level of technology and given factors of production. So on your PPC here, how do I illustrate unemployment? Okay, I draw your PPC. So let's talk about this PPC here. So down here, let's call this capital goods, your consumer goods. Okay, so your PPC and all these are your various points. Let's say point A, point B, point C. Okay, how do I illustrate the idea or the concept of unemployment or PPC? Unemployment, okay, is let's say a point like point D. Okay, unemployment means that you are not fully utilizing your factors of production. There are factors of production that are unemployed. So therefore, if you have factors of production that are unemployed, you are basically producing inside your PPC. Okay, so what this means is that your actual output would then be less than what you are capable of producing, all right, at full employment. So what this means is that you will have a lower level of economic growth. Okay, and when you have unemployment, all right, what this means is that in terms of investment, you will also be seeing lower level of investment, which will actually lead to the reduction in your potential economic growth, the rate at which your LRAS can increase by. And this whole problem of unemployment can actually worsen this whole issue of scarcity because limited resources, unlimited ones. This problem is already a universal problem. Okay, with unemployment, wastage of resources, resources not used efficiently. All right, this whole problem of trying to satisfy your unlimited ones become more of a serious problem because you're not producing as many goods as what you're capable of producing at full employment. So the gap between what people want and what you can produce will be even more glaring as a result of that. Okay, so that's how I actually use concept of scarcity to explain my concern with its high level of unemployment. All right, next we look at how I can use the idea of cost here to explain this concern. All right, a very simple idea here is that if you have unemployment, okay, what this means is that government you collect taxes, all right, and taxes are form part of your revenue, all right, and then you spend on things, and government spend on like government expenditure on infrastructure, schools, hospitals, etc. Government also spend on welfare benefit. All right, so if you have high levels of unemployment, what this means is uh, government will be receiving lesser tax revenue. All right, but they are increasing spending on welfare benefit. All right, and in terms of spending on your welfare benefit, there are various other aspects that your government can actually spend money on. Government could help to improve certain infrastructure, roads, right? Build more schools, more factory. Sorry, not factory. Build more schools, more hospitals, right? Different other types of infrastructure that the government can actually spend money building on. But instead, when you have a high level of unemployment, government might have to divert some of these resources to providing your unemployment benefits, for example, as a result of that, of high level of unemployment. So this, as a result of that, causes this opportunity cost, which is the idea of your next best alternative that you forgo lah. All right, and this as a problem is associated with high level of unemployment, and therefore is a concern of your government. Okay, so I hope you are able to answer this part A for this essay question. Now we look at your part B. So part B, preamble shares a bit about what are the various issues. All right, so now we will look at the three C's. So three C's, you can see keyword command word here is assess. So what are the relative importance of various reasons? So various reasons for youth unemployment. So down here we are concerned at looking at your youth unemployment. So youth as what we have established 18 to 24 years old. All right. So this youth unemployment, you have various reasons for them. Okay. So some of the reasons provided in preamble: weak economy, too many graduates, lack of suitable jobs, often cited as culprits. So you are asked to assess the relative importance. So what you need to do for this question, you need to look at these various reasons and see how relevant these reasons are, all right, in being the main cause or being the cause for youth unemployment in the different countries. So you probably have to look at various countries, not just Singapore alone. Probably want to look at European countries where youth unemployment is relatively high. All right, you might want to look at other countries like China as well. Okay, to better understand, okay, and see which one is likely to be the more important reason for youth unemployment. That's at least what the question is asking you to do. Okay, so if you look at these various reasons given, all right, all these actually give you an indication of the different types of unemployment. All right, so weak economy actually would suggest cyclical unemployment. All right, too many graduates are likely signify your fictional. Because when you graduate, you straight away become frictionally unemployed. This one, there's a mismatch of skills. Probably that's why there's a lack of suitable job. So you have this structural unemployment. All right, and you can see how for this question you need to draw the links lah. All right, the various causes of unemployment and how in real world in the different countries, how important are these as a reason for being the cause for youth unemployment in these various countries. Okay, so this one you may have to go and maybe Google, read up a bit more on the various news articles, and maybe a bit more about youth unemployment in various countries, so that you can have a bit more to elaborate lah. Okay, so this one requires a bit of research, which I think you can easily do lah through Google. All right. So yeah, I'm done with the question analysis for EQ3. I will now move on to EQ4. Right, so EQ4, full 25 mark question. So with a full 25 mark question, all right, we will need to, on our own, break down the question into part A, part B. Okay, so down here you can see, all right, preamble here. High unemployment, consequence of both economic fallout from global economic crisis, as well as your labor market rigidity. All right, out of the 18 million that are unemployed, 3 million are between the ages of 15 to 24. Sorry, okay, let me just adjust something. So down here is this. Okay, so command word here is discuss. Content word, I think keyword that we want to be mindful of is best lah. Okay, what does it mean for something to be the best? Okay, it involves some level of comparison. So be mindful to do that as you address this question. All right, and this one is of course, okay, this one should be government. Let me just adjust it here. Okay. Okay, so how a government, so this one is an open context, so you can use any example lah. All right, okay, so for this question, how do I form my part A, how do I form my part B? Okay, so how government can best solve above problem? So part A will be what type of unemployment are we talking about? Okay, so what type of unemployment are we talking about? So down here you can see economic fallout from global financial economic crisis. So this type of unemployment is likely to be your cyclical unemployment. Labor market rigidity. What type of unemployment is it associated with? Okay, usually it's associated with your structural. So for this case here, your part A, all right, you will be talking about your you will explain and talk a bit more about the problem of your unemployment. Okay, and then after establishing the problem of unemployment, which is your part A, your part B, you will look at how government can best solve this problem. So how best you need to use policy. All right, so cyclical unemployment is usually associated with a fall in AD. Structural, I think you remember it's due to mismatch of skills. Okay, in case you are wondering what is this labor market rigidity? All right, basically how flexible, how rigid labor market is. Okay, is basically looking at the speed with which your labor market actually adapt to fluctuations and changes in society. So it could be economic changes, so such as restructuring of economy. How fast, how slow your economy react. Okay, if it reacts slowly, then of course the labor market is seen to be rigid lah. But if the labor market is able to react very quickly, we call it labor market being flexible. All right, so just FYI, this portion here. Okay, so which policy is the best? I think to tackle a fall in AD, you need your demand side policies lah. To tackle this part here, mismatch of skills, you need to talk about your supply side policy. All right, okay, supply side policies, so that you can then see how you can form your comparison of which policy will then be the best, will then lead to government choosing the best way to solve the problem of unemployment. Okay, so your synthesis, of course, you must talk about. Okay, at the end of the day, I think important for us to establish that government can best solve problem of unemployment through combination of policies. Please do not just stop at that. Okay, go further to elaborate why. Why is it that they need to use a combination? I think you can see down here the problems are multifaceted. It's not just because of one root cause or one problem. Usually a combination of various root cause and problem. So therefore, this could be one of the reasons why you advocate for a combination of policies. Okay, so with that, I'm done with the question interpretation, and hopefully you find this useful and help you get started on your tutorial. So we will discuss more of this in class.